Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Let's start with our new lecture. That is lecture number 17 for web technologies and programming. In today's lecture, we will discuss the introduction to the JavaScript. Before proceeding to the today's lecture, let's overview the summary of previous lecture. In the previous lecture, we have discussed the style guidelines for user interface, and we have discussed the elements of visual design. We have discussed what is a user interface. A user wants to communicate to a web application or a website. A user can communicate with the system using the user interface. So, the user interface is the medium between user and the application. We have seen that in order to make an application successful, an interface should be good designed. And how an interface can be designed in a good way? By following the design principles and style guidelines, an interface can be designed in a good approach. There are different principles, but we consider the key principle first of all on principles for screen design. Always consider that all the relevant requirements should be adjusted for a particular screen. The navigational flow should be mentioned. The screen should follow the concept of simplicity, visibility, and more importantly for the appropriate content, and the screen should make the user-friendly task so that he or she can perform the task accordingly. We have seen the key principles for good interface design while designing for web-based applications. We have discussed that interface should be aesthetically pleasing for the user, and we have also seen that the interface should guide the user for the action that he or she wants to perform, and this concept is said to be learnability. The user should be given a consistent interface for the whole web application. By consistent, I mean that all the icons and objects should remain same throughout the web application. Then we have discussed that user should be provided with flexibility. If an enhancement is to be made, it can be adjusted easily. And then we have seen that the interface should be properly designed with context of user learning. And we have seen the interface should have the concept of configurability, and the content should be presented in a comprehensible manner, and the interface should have the concept of forgiveness. If the user makes some minor mistakes, these should be ignored, and the interface should provide the feedback and guidance upon the action of the user. So these are the major design principles that we have discussed in our previous lecture. Moving onward, we have discussed there are some goals for designing the good interface. So what are the goals for interface design? The major goals are as one. For example, we have to reduce the user memory load. We can reduce the training cost by the good interface design. We can save the money for the interface designing process, and A user will refer to other user for a good interface, and in this way productivity will be increased. The cognitive load on the user memory will be reduced. So in this way we'll have a user-friendly interface that will contain the concept of usability. So these are the goals for designing the good interface. Then we have discussed the major categories of interaction style, that were form filling through command line, natural language, direct manipulation. So these were different interaction style. And then we have overviewed the types of interfaces. The major types of user interfaces are command line, and in case of web it is majorly menu driven website and graphical user interface based website. We can also provide an interface of natural language processing, which is one of the growing area. And then we have overviewed the advantages of adopting style guidelines. And then what are the advantages for good interface? The good interface will increase the usability, will save the time, will reduce the cost, will increase the productivity, and will create more revenue for the system. While if the web-based application has the bad interface, then we are going to face different disadvantages, such as the user can be frustrated, the training cost will be increased to guide the user how to use the application, there will be more time for the application to be designed, developed and correction, and as well as the user is not satisfied, so productivity will be decreased. After that we have seen the elements for the visual design. We have discussed different elements. First of all, we have discussed the font element. We have seen that font attributes are very important to present the content in a readable and in a good way. So there are different typographical terms that are associated with the font. For example, we have discussed ascender. Above the X line, the edges are said to be ascenders, and descenders. Below the baseline, the edges are said to be descender. Then we have seen the X height. The distance between X line and baseline is X height. And then we have seen the font size. The font size is usually that is readable is 10 points, but the preferred one for web-based application is 11 or 12. And there are different font size, and due to font style, the font size readability also get effects. Then we have seen different types of font family. We have seen serif font. We have discussed sans serif font, and we have seen that serif font is more readable as it includes edges, although there is no particular conclusion and proof for adopting serif font. And then we have reviewed sans serif font as well, and some other font family. Then we have seen some proportional and fixed font, and then we have seen the readability for the context. We have discussed how the text can be presented in a good way. Later on we have discussed the layout concept. For that we have seen an example of table of content, and by that we have also proceeded towards the color concept. Color is basically an extra dimension for your particular application, visual objects and text, and we have seen different guidelines for the color. Like we have seen they don't use too many colors, they create complexity. And as well as we have seen that create the monogram sketch first and then add colors for the design. And then we have seen use the color scheme in order to show different statuses to the user. And then we have seen the primary color and the secondary colors. And in the end of the lecture, we have discussed about labels. We have seen what is label and how they are used for the visual verb form object. Now let's consider the outline for today's lecture. In today's lecture, we are going to review what is JavaScript, and then we will see that JavaScript can be used with HTML language, and then we will see some format, some conventions for using JavaScript. Moving onward, we will discuss how the variables to be used in JavaScript, and then we will overview about the JavaScript operators, and proceeding we will see different inputs and outputs in JavaScript, and then go ahead we will see that JavaScript functions, the conditional statements in JavaScript, and in the last we will discuss about looping statements in JavaScript. So these are the content that we are going to discuss today for JavaScript. Let's see what is JavaScript. JavaScript is basically a client-side scripting language. Means it is used on the user PC, and JavaScript was basically designed to add interactivity for web pages, HTML pages, and JavaScript is already used by millions of web pages on the internet in order to improve the design, in order to validate the form values, user inputs, in order to detect the browser, the version and response accordingly, and in order to create cookies and for other functions. We will discuss in detail about cookies in the next slides. JavaScript is basically an interpreted language. By the word interpreted means that the script can be executed without primary compilation. So this is said to be the interpreted language. Normally JavaScript is usually embedded directly into the HTML code, and everyone can use the JavaScript without purchasing any sort of license. The moving onward, we can see that JavaScript is basically a programming language for the web, for the HTML pages. And JavaScript is one of the most popular language for scripting, and it is used on internet, and JavaScript works for all major browsers. For example, it supports by Internet Explorer, Mozilla Firefox, Opera, Netscape, Safari, and similarly. Now what are the common uses for the JavaScript? Basically, JavaScript gives the web page designers, the HTML designers, to work as a programming tool. So HTML designer use JavaScript as a programming tool, and HTML authors are normally not the good programmers. But JavaScript is such an easy language that they can use it as a scripting language with very simple lines of syntax code. And anyone can use JavaScript by using the simple conditions, simple statements in their code within HTML pages. And JavaScript can also react to different user events. A JavaScript can be designed and set in such a way that when an action takes place from the user, then the JavaScript code will execute. For example, if a web page is getting loaded, when the page is loaded completed, then the user click on particular HTML element, and for that the JavaScript relevant code will be executed. JavaScript have write and read HTML elements as well. By using the JavaScript, we can read and we can change the content of an HTML element. As well as some other common uses for the JavaScript are like JavaScript can be used to validate the data given by the user as input values or by the system. JavaScript can also be used for data before the data is submitted to the web server. And what is the benefit of validating the data from the user before submitting it to the web server? That it saves the processing time and processing power and processing resources for the web server. JavaScript can also be used to detect the visitor browser. By using the JavaScript code, we can check what sort of the browser the user is using. And JavaScript also help to create different cookies. A JavaScript can be used to store and retrieve the information on the visitor computer. What does a cookie mean? Let's see first what is a cookie, and understanding the cookie we will come to know what is the concept of storing and retrieving information from the visitor computer. Cookie is basically a message that is given to a web browser by its web server. So whenever a user requests a resource to the web server can send a message to the web browser. The browser will store that particular message as a text file, and that message is sent back to the server each time whenever a browser sends a request of a page from the server. So the JavaScript can be used to execute cookies. So using the JavaScript, it is possible to store and retrieve information on the visitor computer. Moving onward, we will see how the JavaScript will be used. There are two major methods for using the JavaScript, and these methods are basically the methods which are embedded in the HTML code. So basically JavaScript is embedded in the HTML code. And what are the ways to embed JavaScript code in HTML code? The first one is the internal script. The internal script is basically writing the JavaScript code inside the HTML code, just like we have seen with inline CSS. That as we have seen, inline CSS code can be mentioned for the web element in the HTML code. Similarly, for the internal JavaScript, we can write the code of JavaScript in HTML code. Moving onward, the second category is external script. External script is basically a separate JavaScript file written separately, and then that JavaScript file is called inside the HTML page. So what is the method to declare JavaScript code? The script tag is used to tell the browser that now it will follow the script. So by using the script tag, we can use to embed JavaScript code in the HTML document. And how it is used? See. As you can see on the screen that a script start tag is mentioned, and we mention script language, that is JavaScript. It can be VBScript and some other scripting language as well. Then the JavaScript statements will be written, and in the end JavaScript code will be closed. JavaScript can be placed anywhere between HTML start tag and HTML end tag. It means the JavaScript code can be written in the head tag as well as in the body tag. So the JavaScript is a nested code for HTML head as well and HTML body tag as well. And when we are going to write the JavaScript code in the head section or in the body section for an HTML web page, so it means we are using internal JavaScript. Now moving onward, let's see a code example of internal JavaScript. This is basically a code written in HTML file. HTML head tag is started, and then title tag is given where the title is mentioned using multiple JavaScript, and then the title tag is closed. Then the script language JavaScript is mentioned, and these are the commands that you can see in green color, and then the script tag is closed. In the commands, basically we are going to see different sort of code of lines that we can enter in the JavaScript later on. Similarly, again the script tag is started and the language is mentioned JavaScript. Again the commands, that the line of code that will appear for JavaScript, and then the script tag is closed, head tag is closed. So in this way we have seen that JavaScript can be used in the head section. Now the body section. H1 heading is given. This is another script. Now the script is mentioned, that is language is JavaScript. Then there are line of codes that will appear for JavaScript statements, and then the script tag is closed, and in the end body tag is closed with HTML page is closed. So here we have seen that JavaScript can also be used inside the body tag as well. So either use the JavaScript in the head tag or either use the JavaScript in the body tag. Both are the example of internal scripts. At one time you can use the JavaScript in the head tag, or you can use in the body tag, or you can use in head and body tag simultaneously as well. But the code of the JavaScript when written inside the HTML code is said to be the internal JavaScript. Now the second category of JavaScript is external script. When we place a script in a separate file and include this in HTML code, so it is said to be external script. So basically, when we are creating a separate file just like external CSS, that is said to be similarly external JavaScript. So how to use external JavaScript? Basically, the source attribute of the script is used to include the external JavaScript file in HTML file. It is the same way as we have seen how to use external CSS file in HTML code. Let's see the overview for the code of external JavaScript. So the script tag will be mentioned. The source file, that is myjavascript.js, is mentioned, that is an external JavaScript, and then it is closed, and then its relevant statements for the heading to be appeared, and then script tag closed. Do consider that when you are going to use external JavaScript file, you will save it with the extension of .js. .js shows that it is an JavaScript file. .css shows that it is a CSS file. .html shows that it is an HTML code file. So external scripts are useful when you have lengthy scripts, and it improves the readability of the content. So if you want to use small number of script, then it is preferred you use internal script, and if you have to use large number of script, then it is appropriate to use external JavaScript. What are the advantages of external JavaScript? External JavaScript places JavaScript in external files, and it has some advantages. For example, it separates the HTML and code. Number 2, it makes HTML and JavaScript easier to read and maintain. And also it helps to cache the JavaScript files that can speed up the page loading process. So these are the major advantages for the external JavaScript. What is? Number 1, the HTML file and the code file of JavaScript can be separated by using the external JavaScript. Number 2, it is very easier to manage, to control and to modify the external JavaScript. And third, the external JavaScript is cached, which helps to speed up the process of page loading. Now let's see, there are some conventions how to use JavaScript. So the first convention, the norm, is using the semicolon. In traditional programming language like in C language or in C++ language or in Java language, we see that every code statement has to be ended with the semicolon. Means it is necessary to end a line with semicolon. And many programmers are continuing with this habit when writing with the JavaScript. But the semicolons are optional in JavaScript. So if you are not mentioning the semicolon, the code will be executed as well. But if you want to write semicolon, so they will be mandatory if you want to put more than one statement on a single line. So if you want to line a piece of statement and then on the same line you want to write another piece of statement, it is mandatory to use the semicolon in JavaScript. But if you are writing different statements on different lines, then it is not necessary to put semicolon after each line. So which shows that semicolon is optional. So the less number of errors will be displayed on compilation time. Let's see an example. Script language is JavaScript. Document.write, it is a statement to give the output, and then hello world is mentioned, and then the alert goodbye is guided. So there are two statements on the same line, so semicolon is mentioned. Then document.write hello, alert is mentioned goodbye, and then again document.write hello without semicolon the previous statements, and now with semicolon for the current statement, and alert goodbye with semicolon. So if you are writing in separate lines, you put the semicolon or you do not put the semicolon, it does not affect. But if you are putting the two or more than two statements in same line, it is necessary to put the semicolon after each statement, and in the end there is a script close tag. Always remember that JavaScript is a case sensitive language. By case sensitive language, it means that if you are going to write something in small alphabets or in large alphabet, the JavaScript will treat both of them separately. For example, if you are writing a variable name as last name, where L for the last and N for the name is written in small as well, while there again you are using the word last name as variable, where L for the last is written capital and N for the name is written capital, they both are considered different variables. So JavaScript is basically a case sensitive language. How to put comments in JavaScript? If you want to put a single line comment, you can use two consecutive forward slashes for adding comment in single line. But in case you want to put multiple line comments, then you have to mention a forward slash with static and then all the code or lines that you want to comment, and again in the end you have to mention the static and with slash. So let's see the comments code. Script language is JavaScript. For the single line comment, just two slashes are mentioned, and for the multiple line of comment we have seen that a slash with static, then all the line of code that we want to comment, and in the end again static with slashes mentioned. Now using codes, you can use both types of code. For example, there are two types of codes. Number one, single quote and double quotes. So you can use both types of code, single quote and double quote. For single quote, something inside the single quote is mentioned, and similarly for double quote, something inside the double quote can be mentioned. So either use the single quote or either use the double quote. You can use the both quote. Now let's see an example. Document.write, it is a method to display the output, and then a font tag color is given with double quotes, color value is given, and then hello world that we want to print, and font tag is closed. Then document.write, the font tag is mentioned red value with single quote, and then hello world that is to be print out, and font tag is closed. So either use the double quote for the color attribute or single quote. both will be executed. Now see how to write a JavaScript file. Now see, this is an HTML file, so it means internal JavaScript is going to be written. The head tag is mentioned, the title tag is mentioned with hello world, and title tag is closed and head tag is closed. Then body tag is started. The scripting language is JavaScript. Here you can say there is a function written of the JavaScript, that is document.write. For that, an h1 heading tag is given, and then script tag is closed. So see, this is the start of the script, this is the end of the script, and this is basically a function to write. This text is written by JavaScript on the web page, and this is the HTML code in JavaScript. Then body tag is closed and HTML tag is closed. So what is the output of that? See, the text is written by JavaScript. So this will be the output of JavaScript code. Now see what are the variables in JavaScript. Variable is basically a name given to a memory location on your computer which holds the data of certain type. So basically it is the name of memory address, and that memory contain the particular type of data. For example, it can contain string data or number data and so on. The most 4 common type of data in JavaScript are: the first one is number data, like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is number data. Then the string data, for example, Ali 09, it's a string. And then Boolean data and null values. Always remember, JavaScript is loosely typed language. It means that you do not have to work explicitly to write the data type. Data type is self-detected by JavaScript. So the JavaScript can pick the data type itself. Now considering the variables declaration, how to declare a variable? The word var, var, is used to declare a variable. By declaration, I mean when you are going to mention var with a word, that particular word will be acted as a variable in JavaScript. So see, var, that particular keyword is mentioned, then last name is given, so it means the variable is declared. And after the equal sign, when we are mentioning Smith, it means the variable is initialized as well. Now the variable account number, and it is assigned with 1111. So it is the initialization of account number. Here you can see 3 things. Number 1, the declaration way. Number 2, the semicolon is not used as the code is written in next line. And number 3, the double quotes is given for string data type but not for the number data type. So always remember, the first character of a variable cannot be a digit, while the other characters can be digit, letters or underscore. It means if I want to write 7 as a digit with last name, I cannot write, because the 7 is a digit and it is the first digit in the name of the variable, which is not allowed. So always remember there are some keywords, reserved words that are mentioned already for specific purpose of action in JavaScript, and that keyword and reserved word cannot be used as a variable name. And in the last, always remember JavaScript is a case-sensitive language. So by case-sensitive language, it means that if you are writing the same variable name in capital and then again somewhere in small, it will be treated two different variable names. So you need to be careful while writing the different variable names or while you want to access the same variable name. Now, how to initialize the variable? See, variable is declared, then the name of the variable with a specific rule will be followed, and then will be given initialization value. Initialization value is the value that will be assigned as a first value at the declaration time for a variable. So that is said to be initialization value. The second one is again another variable. So you have written a variable name, initialized a value, and then put it a comma and writing the second variable name, and by using this var it will come to know that there are multiple variables for same data type and initializing its value. Proceeding onwards, see what is the local and global variables. A variable declared within the JavaScript function becomes a local variable and can only be accessed within the same function, while the variable declared outside the function becomes global and can be accessed by all the scripts and functions on a web page. So there are two types of variable. A variable mentioned within a function and can be accessed in the same boundaries of a function is local variable, and a variable that is declared outside a function and can be accessed throughout the web page by different functions and JavaScript code is said to be global variable. So now proceeding onwards, let's overview what are the JavaScript operators. Operator is basically a symbol that tells the compiler or interpreter to perform a certain action. Now let's see what are JavaScript operators. An operator is simply a symbol that tells the compiler or interpreter to perform a certain action. So the compiler comes to know with the help of operator what action is to be performed. The first one is the assignment operator. The assignment operator is used by equal sign. The second one category of operators are arithmetic operators. See plus symbol, minus symbol, static symbol, division symbol, percentage symbol, increment symbol, decrement symbol, these all are arithmetic operators. Then logical operators. Double and consecutively return is said to be a logical operator, and again double or return consecutively is another logical operator, and sign of exclamation is basically a logical operator. And then comparison operator, equal, not equal, less than, greater than equals to, less than equals to. So there are four major categories of operators. Now how to write input and output in JavaScript. So write is basically used to write on web browser. This is basically an output function for the JavaScript. So what is the way to write this? See, document dot write, this is basically the format, and then in inverted commas you will mention whatever you want to display on the web browser. And then document dot write A is again mentioned without comma. Now prompt function. Prompt function is basically used to take the values from the user. So variable num is mentioned, and then it is assigned with the prompt function, and prompt function will take the value from the user and will assign to the variable num. So what is the prompt function way? Please enter a number and then mention a second parameter 0. So a number value will be given by the user, and then let's see in the code. So the function is written inside the HTML file, means it is internal JavaScript. So the HTML tag, the head tag with title tag started and head tag ended, body tag started, and scripting language JavaScript tag is started. So script tag is started, language is mentioned JavaScript. Now proceeding onward, variable name is equal to prompt. Please enter a number, and then the second parameter is mentioned bracket closed, and then the document dot write, where whatever the number you have written is assigned to document dot write, how you entered will appear, and then the number will appear, and then script tag is closed. So document dot write is used to write in browser, while the prompt function is used to take the values from the user. And these are the boundaries for the JavaScript, the start of JavaScript and the end of JavaScript. And then body tag is closed and HTML tag is closed. So see the output of this particular line of code. Please enter a number. This is given by particular line of code, that is prompt function, and then a number 7 is given, and this is displayed by the code document dot write. So this will be the way to write the document dot write. You entered 7 is displayed when you have given the relevant input. Now proceeding onwards, let's overview the JavaScript functions. A JavaScript function is basically the block of JavaScript code, and that can be executed for when asked for. So the block of JavaScript code is basically, you can say, a function, and this function can be executed when asked for, required for. For example, on a particular event, just like on the user click button or user mouse hover action, a particular function of JavaScript can be executed. So the functions that are used in JavaScript are used to perform different sort of actions. For example, one function can be used to write something on the web browser. The other function can be used to mention alerts to the user. Another function can be used to take the input from the user. So there are different types of functions that can be used in JavaScript for different purposes. The two major categories of the function in JavaScript are: the first one is user-defined function. These are the functions which are made by the user to perform specific action. While there are some other category, there is another category that is predefined category, and the function which are already defined and can be used by the user, and user don't know about the code, what is going on behind the code, but he should know when to call that particular function is done with the help of predefined function. So predefined function are the already available functions in JavaScript, and user just need to know when to call and use that function, and user doesn't know what is the code that is executed behind that particular function. While for user defined function, user not only need to know when to call the function, but also write the code for that particular user defined function and knows when it is executed, that what code is executed for that particular function. Now, whenever functions are defined, always remember they are mentioned by the word function, followed by a particular name for the function and the list of parameters that are required for that particular function. So how to write a function in JavaScript? Always remember, first use the keyword reserved word function as mentioned here in red color, and then write the name of the function that the user wants to give it to the particular function, and then mention the parameters in bracket that particular function supports. Then start of the function line, end of the function line, and in that mention the statements for the function. How to call a function? The syntax of calling a function is write the function name and then write the arguments that are required to call a function, and then bracket will be closed. Now see the code of JavaScript function in HTML file. HTML head tag is started, title tag is given with the title function, and the script is mentioned in the head section, and script tag is started. Then the language is mentioned, that is JavaScript, and then the function keyword is mentioned with the name of the function, that is get name, and no parameter is mentioned. Then the function start bracket are given, and then a variable is declared, variable name, and then it is a variable which take the values from the user. So the prompt function is mentioned, please enter your name, it will be displayed to the user, and then the username will be given as a variable, and then the document.write, the user output function for the web browser, is written, and then welcome Mr. and the name will be displayed for the user, and then script tag is closed. So this is the start of the function, and this is basically the line of code to take the value from the user, and this is basically to write the name on the web page, and then the script tag is closed, the head tag is closed, and the body tag on load is mentioned with get name calling a function. Proceeding onwards, let's see the JavaScript function output. Please enter your name, and here it is mentioned Tehseen. Prevent this page from creating additional dialog. This is just a notice. So this is basically an input taking value for the prompt function, and this is basically the output of document.write welcome Mr. Tehseen. These are the common functions events that are available on JavaScript. On these events we can call a specific function. What are the common events? On click. On click by user mouse, a function can be called, and on double click a function can be called. On change, then a function can be called. On focusing on particular element, function can be called. On mouse over, a function can be called. On mouse out, a function can be called. And submit, a function can be called. And on load, a function can be called. So these are the events, these are the triggers, and on these triggers when executed functions can be called. Now see what are the common methods and common functions that are predefined in JavaScript. So these are the common predefined math functions available in JavaScript. The first one is math.sqrt, and this sqrt is basically abbreviation of square, and this function is used to calculate the square root. The second one is math.pow, and this function is used to calculate the power of a number. And the third function is math.abs. This function is used to calculate absolute values. And the next one is math.max. It is used to calculate maximum value. And then math.min, which is used to calculate the minimum value. And then math.floor, which is used to calculate backrounded value. And the next one is math.cell, which is used to calculate the forward rounded value. And then the math.round function, which is used to calculate the rounded value. And then math.random function, which is used to calculate some random value. Now the conditional statements in JavaScript. So see what is the conditional statement. For example, if statement is a conditional statement. So how to write the conditional statement for if statement? See, the first keyword if is mentioned, and then the particular condition that we want to be executed is written, and then the particular line of statement that we want to execute on the conditioning becomes true for the if. So another way is to write the if statement. The statements are mentioned inside the start and middle bracket. The second conditional statement is if else statement. For the if else statement, the if keyword is mentioned and then the condition will be written. If the condition is becoming true, then the compiler will go inside the statement for the if condition. And if the condition is false, the compiler will go else code for the statement that are written inside the else keyword. Now let's see the code for conditional statements. This code is written inside the HTML code file. So title is mentioned if else. Now the script language JavaScript is written. So function play game is presented, and now the variable res is basically given, and then a parse integer, and then math.random function is given. It will generate random number from 0 to 10, and then a prompt function from the user is taken. Please enter a number, and user input will be given. And if the number that is given by the user matches to the random number of res, then if condition will be true and you will write you won, else you will write you lost. So the correct answer will be displayed in case of you lost, but will be that the random number that is saved in res, and then the else condition is closed, and then the function bracket is closed and script is closed. So basically you are writing script file, and inside the script code you are mentioning the function, and inside the function you are mentioning the variables and subfunctions, and inside the function you can also write the conditional statement if and else accordingly. The body tag, for example, on click you want to use a particular function, that is play game. So you have displayed you wanna play, so on click the user will be triggered for the function that will be play game. So see how it will appear. You wanna play. The user is mentioned, please enter a number. The user click you wanna play, and then a input value form is given, that is please enter a value. The user has given a value. The value doesn't match with the random value generated in res variable, so the else condition is executed, you lost, and correct answer that is saved in res value 0 is displayed. Now how to write loops in JavaScript. The first basic loop is for loop. For variable I equals to 1, this is basically I is variable and its first initialization value is given I, and then I is mentioned to be increment till 10 value, and then I equals to. So for loop will execute in the way starting from 1 till 10, incrementing accordingly. So in the middle brackets the statements will be executed for the for loop. The next one is while loop. For the while loop, while and then condition is given, and then the bracket start bracket is given, and then the statement for the while loop are presented and bracket is closed. So this is the syntax to write for loop, and this is the syntax to write while loop. Let's see the example of for loop and while loop in HTML code file. So it is basically an internal JavaScript. So in body tag the script language is called, and now the for loop is mentioned. For variable I equals to 0, this is the variable I and default initialization value is 0, and until the I is less than 10, and then the loop is increasing the value of I, and here the document dot write that is used to display the output, and this is for loop statement is mentioned, and I values will be printed every time, and after each value a line break tag is given. Again after the for loop a while loop is given, where j equals to variable j equals to 0 initialized by default, and do till when do document.write, this is a while loop, and print the value of j every time, give a line break and increase the value of j till when the while value of j is less than 10. So in while the condition of j is less than 10 is mentioned. So in this way the for loop is mentioned for I in the JavaScript, and while loop is mentioned for the value of j in JavaScript, and JavaScript code is closed for the tag JavaScript, and then the body tag. What is the output? See the output for the for loop. So from 0 to 9, because less than condition is mentioned, the for loop is executed, and for 0 to 9 the j values is given because the less than condition for the while is given. Now there are some functions for JavaScript output. What are those functions? The JavaScript output can be displayed in different ways. The first way for writing is alert box using window.alert method, and in window.alert method you can directly calculate some values as well. The second method to print the output on web page using the JavaScript output function is document.write. Here also you can mention the calculation as well. The next one is for document.getElement by ID, and this is basically JavaScript inner HTML, and you have mentioned the demo, particularly that element ID value, and then you have called the inner HTML function where you can give particular values directly or small calculation. And the last one to use the output function is console.log, and where you can mention the values that you want to display on the web browser. So what we have studied in today's lecture In today's lecture, we have discussed JavaScript, and JavaScript is basically a scripting language that can be used within the HTML, and JavaScript is basically have different conventions of inverted commas, single commas, semicolon, statements. And then we have seen that JavaScript are of two types: internal JavaScript and external JavaScript. And internal JavaScript is used when we want to use limited number of functions in our application, and then external JavaScript that is used to write more number of functions or more number of statements for our HTML application. And then we have seen how to declare variable, how to initialize variable, and how to use the variables in JavaScript. We have here seen the local and global variable as well. And then we have seen JavaScript operators. We have discussed different arithmetic comparison operators. And then we have seen different input and output functions for JavaScript. The most common input function is prompt and output function is document.write. And we have also seen some other functions like math function, square root function in JavaScript. And then we have seen conditional statement. For if, we have seen how the if code will be executed within the JavaScript function. Similarly for if else conditional statement. And in the end, we have seen two loops for JavaScript, the for loop and while loop. So this is all we have discussed in today's lecture. Thank you for today's lecture.